Fajardo brings us a truly remarkable story about a group of inmates in Lancaster who say the college degrees they earned behind the bars has changed everything.
Change is real, and all it takes is for you to want it.
Echoes of transformation in Lancaster.
For so long I was silenced.
We were all told that we were worthless and we were so hopeless and helpless throughout our lives that we were like throwaway kids.
Here at the California State Prison, Los Angeles County, inmates are so tightly guarded. You can hear the wind and footsteps. This is a level 4 maximum security facility. It houses some of the most dangerous criminals. But beyond the barbed wire and the layers of gates, there is one room.
Does the structure of your essay change?
Where inmates say they don't feel like a prisoner.
For me, as a life without inmate, that it doesn't matter how much time you're doing or what is going on in your life, you can always change, and that change is real. If, say, I were to come out, how would I approach that? And
Freddie Hernandez is in Dr. Badan Chandra Roy's English class, working towards a bachelor's degree in communications at Cal State LA.
My mom is very proud. So she's an educator herself, and she has a PhD. She's done a lot for herself, and I'm very proud of her. So this is my way of giving back to her.
This is your kind of first foundation. Everything is coming from here.
Dr. Roy first started volunteering at the prison 8 years ago.
You're taking out your rough draft that you've got.
But it wasn't until the inmates asked if they could get college credit that he approached his administration at the university.
So my topic is at-risk use all across California.
He wasn't sure they'd agree. After all, many of his students had been convicted of murder or had been hardcore gang members.
I think there's many men in prison that have been written off way before they came to prison, from like the minute they were born, in a way. And I think the investing in human beings more is not just the right thing to do, but it makes a better society. You know.
Thank you guys.
For decades, inmates had been able to get Pell Grants through the federal government to pay for college.
My fellow citizens,
But during the Get Tough on Crime 90s, then President Clinton did away with the program.
This is an example of what we mean when we talk about second chances.
The Obama administration brought it back, allowing inmates to cover the more than $5,000 tuition of attending Cal State LA. The men and Dr. Roy are well aware many out there believe it's a waste of taxpayer money.
Who is it that you want coming back into your community? Do you want someone that's been transformed, that has, equipped with being able to get a job? Or do you want someone that nothing has been done to them that's going to be the same person that comes out into the community?
Getting into the program is not a given. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation only selects a handful from those who have gotten an AA degree and have been model prisoners for several years.
It has all these positive ripples to their communities, to family members, but really as well, probably the biggest surprise is the effect on the yard. There's a lot of men that get inspired.
that was a life-defining moment for me.
Dion Whitmore was part of the first graduating class last month. He's been in prison since the age of 15
What's next for us?
and says his brothers followed his bad example. He now hopes they'll follow him to college.
We've had conversations after that day, and just like, well, maybe this is the way to go now.
If he gets parole in 18 months, he plans on getting a master's.
But to go into addiction treatment and mental health.
Do you have a diploma? Is it in, where is it?
It's in my cell right now. Yeah, it's awesome. I graduated magna cum laude.
Darren Robinson is serving a life sentence. His degree may not open the prison doors, but he says it's opened much more.
You finally got to hold something in your hand that said you weren't a failure finally, that you did count.
My God, the impact that education can give to someone who has felt forgotten and is paying their debt to society, by the way. That's important to point out. Christy joins me from her Zoom room at home. Good to have you with us in this story. It's so powerful. Look, it's not always easy. There are challenges built into this kind of educating in this fashion within the walls of this kind of institution.
Well, there are obviously added challenges. They don't
have access to a library like we do. They don't have access to the internet. So when they're doing research, they can't just go to a computer and find what they need. So actually, Dr. Roy has teamed them up with graduate students at Cal State LA.
Wow.
And they help them with the research. They go and find the articles, print them out, and they're taken to the prison and given to the prisoners. And then they come back and tell them that they want more maybe of that kind of article. And I should mention also, Michaela, that 10 of the people that started the program actually had their sentences commuted.
Really?
While they were in the program, yes. And many of them, I actually talked to one, he didn't actually make it into the story, who is now finishing his degree at Cal State LA. He graduates next month. That's how important this education was to him.
And that one young man, magna cum laude, like to be able to hold on to that. I know that other states and cities must be watching this. Are they hoping to expand the program?
They are. Actually, there's talk about perhaps expanding the Cal State LA program to another women's prison. There's also hope that perhaps that this can be a model for the whole state, and that Cal State LA will sort of set the example, and that other Cal States will do the same with their local prison population.
That professor is something. He really is. He is really something. And the trickle-down effect of having on those inmates, the students that they're getting to work with, changing their perspective of an incarcerated person. I think there's just such a win-win around all of this.
That's what he says. He says, you know, that it helps in many regards, because one, when the person, if they get out, and the laws are changing, so many more inmates will get out, that it helps with prospective employers, like the Tyson one was one guy that I talked to. He didn't make the story, but he actually graduated. He was one of the one who had his sentence commuted. He got a job working with someone who's a financial advisor, and the proof that he had changed or had reformed himself was this degree that he was working on, and that was enough to convince a prospective employer. But also, it helps other family members. Some of these men have children.
Yeah.
So now their children see that their dad went to college.
That's
and
not the end of his story, kind of thing, right? Christy, this
and that is something they can do and can aspire to.
This has been really incredible. Thank you so much for taking a look at this for us and bringing it to us. As always, your reporting is terrific. Good to see you.
Thank you.